Hey everybody, welcome. It is time for another quick walkthrough of what's happening this week. You guys are going to get a little bit of a break this week because, as you know, what was originally scheduled to be done this week was your revision of either the fiction paper or the poetry paper. And since you have not gotten those back, with the comments, you obviously will not be able to complete that this week. So you can take a little bit of a break, or you can go ahead and get started with the upcoming drama. One couple of notes on the upcoming drama. The Glass Menagerie is a full-length play. The first one we're reading, Trifles, is short, but the longer one, if you wanted to go ahead and get started with that now, that would be great. The other thing that I want to mention to you is that you are going to be choosing your own novel or full-length nonfiction work. So you may want to take this opportunity this week to look ahead at that assignment, and I'm going to go over it with you so that you can kind of see what's coming. Because, of course, reading a whole book takes a little time. So maybe use this week for that. I did officially change the due date for the revision to the 19th, so 2 weeks from now. I do want you to make sure that you get a chance to look at both the fiction and the poetry paper before you decide which one you want to revise. It is a completely new grade, so it doesn't really matter. It won't change the original grades on them, but it will give you a brand new grade. So for some of you, you may choose the one with the fewest changes needed. For others, you may want to show, that you've really learned something and tackle the one that maybe you struggled a little bit more on. So anyway, just keep that in mind. In the meantime, let's go ahead and look at the upcoming assignment for the novel. And I know did I not, did I actually share? I don't know that I actually shared. Well, I'm going to now. Okay. Sorry. Anyway, back to the homepage for just a second for the dates. So, as I mentioned, the fiction and poetry paper, once you get those back, you will have at least a week to revise them. Right now, I have set that due date for October 19th, and that would move if need be. You do have two full-length things to come in the future. One is the full-length play, The Glass Menagerie, and the other is a book of your choice. So you may want to go ahead and be thinking about that assignment, which is what I am going to look at with you. So that assignment is not until week 12. And it is not, the learning materials for that are not published yet because I'm still adding the lecture. But let's go ahead and look at the topic choice. So you're going to read either a novel or a book length nonfiction work. I've got some suggestions for you, but you can choose anything that is either a full length novel or a nonfiction book. You're going to have a couple of things that become part of that project. One is, of course, letting me know what book you're reading. The other is, as you're reading it, what are you learning from it? So there's a discussion board for that. And then we have two written assignments. One is an annotated bibliography, which you guys have been doing all along for the book project. And then the last is your book project, and it can either be a presentation or a paper. Up to you how you want to do that. But let's look at the topic choice first. And because that's the first one that's going to happen, you'll notice that, wait a second. Uh-oh. I need to change that because you are going to submit something. Okay, so you're going to write 3 paragraphs on the prompts and you're going to give me the book information. I need to change this to online and we're going to leave that open. Could be text entry, could be file uploads. Okay, so sorry about that. I don't know why that was set that way. So that's your book project. If you want to look at well, what are some of the possibilities? Let me go ahead and show you. Like I said, I know that this isn't, where'd it go? There it is. Let's go ahead and look at the presentation or paper assignment. It does have some criteria for it. You are welcome to include, I also have a checklist for you. Let me see if the unpublished information has a list yet. I will be sharing some, oh, wrong week, sorry. I will be sharing some possibilities with you in the learning materials. I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and publish this, even though the lecture's not there, because we don't really need the lecture until that week. So I will continue and I will add the lecture, but I'm going to publish this so that you can look ahead at the list. So you're going to choose a book to read. It could be print book, it could be online. You can even choose an audiobook if you prefer to listen to books. It does need to be a substantial work of fiction or nonfiction. So we're talking like a 200-page book, not big print, but a regular print 200-page book. There are novels that you can choose from in the LibGuide. They are available for free. We've got Mark Twain, Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. We've got Jane Austen's Emma, Kate Chopin's The Awakening, Margaret Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale, which you may be familiar with from the Hulu series, Zora Neale Hurston's Their Eyes Were Watching God, or Aldous Huxley's Brave New World. So those are available completely for free online in our LibGuide. You do not have to limit yourself to those novels. So there's a ton of novels that you can access either in our library through the local library, or if you buy books. I buy a lot of books because I love to read. So it can be something else besides those. Now, I have a list of nonfiction works that I personally have read recently, and have found to be pretty amazing. So I have a list of those here. Again, you can check out books from the local library or Lake Sumter State College Library. And you may be able to find those books in fully online ebook form if you prefer to read online. So it's really up to you. Like I said, I will add the lecture for this, but I think this way you guys can take this week to maybe look ahead and think about what you want to read for the final book project, since we have a little bit of a break without revisions to do this week. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. Happy to give you some more advice about finding a book that you might be interested in. I will tell you, my personal favorites on these are Simon Montgomery's The Soul of an Octopus. She has a bunch of books about different animals as well. She's awesome. Helen McDonald, H is for Hawk, was so good. It's about a woman who is grieving the loss of her father and training a hawk at the same time. It's really amazing. And Amy Tan's The Backyard Bird Chronicles was one of my all-time favorites because it is illustrated. In fact, I'm sitting right next to it, and I don't know if I can make this work, but one of the cool things is that she has done hand drawings. It's basically a journal, a bird journal. Um, it's really fascinating. That one for sure, I would try to find in either a print copy, or if the ebook comes along with illustrations, that would be cool, but it is illustrated. So you probably want to see that. Those are my recent favorites. There's a lot of good stuff out there in both fiction and nonfiction. So as I said, if you have any questions about that, let me know. If you want to go ahead and do that initial assignment, the book choice first, like do it now while it's fresh in your mind, it's available. Like I said, these are all published. The only thing that wasn't is this page, and that is now published. Oh, in fact, let me publish the module so that you can for sure see it. I'm going to do the same thing with the chapter. Yeah. So 11, I still owe you a lecture on. and 12 through 15. But anyway, those are available to you to go ahead and look at. Other than the lectures will be added. I'll go ahead and publish that one too. So feel free to take a look at those ahead of time. And like I said, this isn't due until November 9th, but if you want to go ahead and do it now, if you do choose a book this week, I would go ahead and fill this out. That way it's done. And if I need to give you some more advice, I can do that as well. All right. So feel free to let me know if you have any questions about it. Otherwise, I will be back with you next week for a new walkthrough.